Hello fly tyers, this is Aaron at the Fanatical's fly tying desk, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite all-time flies called the San Juan Worm. I do my San Juan Worm a little bit different. I grew up fishing on the Colorado River, a place called Lee's Ferry, and we used a lot of San Juan Worms back in the 90s to catch some really big fish. Since then, I've used them on the Green River, the San Juan River, the Provo River, a lot of rivers out here in the West. And I'm going to show you my personal take on the San Juan Worm. So I use a couple different colors of threads. And when I do a San Juan Worm, I start out with either a light tan, kind of a yellowish thread. And I start in the middle of the hook. And here in a minute, I'm going to show you why. I like to do a two-tone on my San Juan Worms. And so with the San Juan Worm, you're going to use a product called Ultra Chenille. It's just your standard chenille, but it's got really tight fibers. And I'm going to first secure it with about 3 wraps right on the back of the scud hook where it starts to turn down. This is a size 14 scud hook. And then I'm going to go right to the middle of the hook, and I'm going to tie that down pretty secure. The next part is I'm going to simply whip finish this part. And so now it's like a half of a worm. Now from here, I'm just going to change my thread color to a dark brown, and I'm going to cover completely the shank of the hook. I'm actually going to wrap up on top of this other part. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a darker tone of chenille. This is tan, this is called worm brown. And I'm just going to wrap this little tag end up like that. 3 to 4 wraps, then I'm going to come down to the eye of the hook. I'm going to wrap another 3 to 4 wraps. And then I'm going to whip finish. Okay, to this point, I'm going to cut off my excess so I can get my size right. And you can see I've got most of the worm is the tan, but just the top part of it is the brown. I'm actually going to cut a little bit more off. Now what I'm going to do is pull out my trusty Bic lighter, and I'm going to burn just the very tip of it. So now you see it's got that nice little worm taper. I'm going to do the same on the back end. It's kind of dipping down on me. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull it forward and then I'll zap it. And you can see, whoops, you can see it gives it a nice little wormy taper at that point. Now what I will do is, once again, Mr. UV glue himself, I will pull out my Loon Clear Thick glue. And right on this little tag end that's poking up, this is going to be the heart of the worm. And it's also going to cement everything together so it's all one worm. And you'll see when this light gets out of the way, It gives it a really cool, natural, wormy look. Now I will simply spin that around. And I'm going to put a little bit more glue down here on the underbelly. Careful not to get it in the eye of the hook. And what this UV glue does is it really makes your flies durable and a lot more realistic. I'll spin that back around. So now you can see you've got a very natural looking San Juan worm, and you can use this fly absolutely everywhere and catch fish. One of my favorites all time. Thank you for watching the Fly Tires Moment on the Fanaticals channel, and we hope you tune in again for our next video. Thank you.